asked in my story for you guys to come up with some questions for us, and I wrote down the most asked questions, and I thought I would make a video answering them for you. The first question is, how long does it take me to make a video? Usually it takes me between 9 and 10 hours. I will usually spend about an hour coming up with the skit, writing it out, and then I do an hour worth of setup, typically moving furniture around, kind of setting the scene, making everything look the way I want it for the video. From there, I usually spend about 4 to 5 hours filming, just getting raw footage. So getting the girls set up where they need to go, getting them to do what I need them to do, and getting all of that raw footage. I usually have between 1 and 2 hours of raw footage, and I compact that down into about 1 to 2 minutes for a video. And then usually that editing does take about 2 to 3 hours. So yeah, but about 9 to 10 hours total for a video. The next question was, how do I get them to do what I do in the videos? So each dog has their own preferences as far as toys, treats, what motivates them. Luna is very, very toy motivated. So as soon as I get a tennis ball out or any toy that I can throw, she is zoned in and focused. Layla, on the other hand, is very food motivated. So anytime I have a treat out, she's looking wherever that treat is. So if I want Luna to look at me, I'll throw something and she usually looks at me for the okay to go get it. So I know how to get her to look at me. Layla, I have to physically bring a treat to my face to get her to look at me because she's so focused on that treat. And a lot of the other things I do is make funny noises, say some of their favorite phrases like go for a walk or potty or hungry or anything like that. But of course I have to follow through with anything I say. So I kind of keep that to a minimum because I'll end up spending the entire day taking them out to play. The third question is, how old are Layla and Luna? They are both actually 6 years old. They're both born October 2017. And it's funny because my husband and I didn't even know each other in 2017. We met a couple years later and brought the dogs together and found out that they were just a few weeks apart. So that was pretty funny. Question number 4 is, where do you live? Everyone wants to know where we're at. So we were in Kansas and we recently moved to Georgia back in April of this year. We're absolutely loving it. I was actually originally born in Georgia and I kind of made a full circle back here. Okay, question number 5 is, why this cabin? I kept talking about building this cabin and moving into it, but we seem to have just moved into another house, so everyone seemed a little bit confused. We were actually staying with family while this cabin was built. My dad and my husband both built this cabin, and it's a temporary home for us. We wanted a permanent move to Georgia. We bought some property a couple years ago, but with the way the market has been, we wanted to wait a little while to build and save up some money, and we're working on those plans now, but we wanted a place to stay in the meantime while we had our baby. So we have this cabin built and we're gonna be here for a couple of years. Okay, the next question is, how is life with the new baby? How do I manage my time? How is it different? Oh, what?
She's gonna make a little noise. I'm gonna try to get it away on my chest.
Oh, well, that was a pretty good timing for that question. How is life with the baby? How do you manage your time? How do you still make videos? How do you do it? So I'm not sure how I do it. I'm still figuring it out. Life with a baby is amazing. There's so many little quirks that they have that just make you giggle and just completely make your day. But as far as managing my time and still getting to make videos, I just have to make the most out of nap time. My husband and I take turns caring for her, playing with her, putting her down. So we try to give each other a little bit of that free time to still do the things that we want. But on top of a move, it's been a little bit hectic around here, so I'm not able to make as many videos as I want to, but I'm sure that we'll be able to get all of that regulated soon. Which leads me to the next question, which is, how are the girls acting around Dakota? Are they jealous? Are they excited? How do they act? So when we first brought her home, they were so confused and so excited at the same time. They did not want to leave her side because this fresh new baby was here and crying, and they wanted to be there and comfort her and didn't understand what was going on at the same time. So whenever she would cry, they would kind of whine, which I thought was cute and sad at the same time. But they really, really do love having her around. We have set some boundaries as far as kissing her face and things like that because she's so fresh. She'll be 3 months soon, so we'll start to lift that boundary a little bit. But they're calm around her. They've learned that she's fragile. She can't be played with yet or anything like that. So they're kind of just calm around her and respecting her space. And when she's old enough, we'll teach her to respect their space as well. But we're excited to see how their relationship develops once Dakota becomes a little bit more aware of her surroundings. She has started to notice them more. Isn't sure what to think, but she does watch them a lot. So we're excited to see how that relationship develops. Speaking of, the next question is, what's my background? Do I have a background in videography, movies, film, anything like that? No, I don't. I actually just have a business degree. I have a minor in communication. And aside from that, I just had your typical food and waitressing jobs growing up. Then I worked for the vitamin shop for about 5 or 6 years. And then from there, I decided to quit my job and start my own business. So I sold on Etsy for actually close to 5 years. And then in the meantime, I had started Layla's page just for fun. It was just really cool having this dog community around. So I started making more and more content. And because of you guys, I started making a lot more content, and it ended up becoming a full-time thing. But I kind of learned as I went. If you look back at the beginning of my page, my videos are very different. They're very, very, I feel like terribly made. So I've just learned as I go. Everything I do, I kind of tweak the next video and try and make better, but I don't necessarily have a background. I didn't study film or anything like that. So for you guys who want to start pages like this, you just got to start and then kind of learn as you go. The next question is, why Layla the Boxer and not Luna? So I kind of touched on before, my husband and I met after we had already gotten the dogs. I had already started the page for Layla when it was just her and I. Then Luna came along, but by the time she came along and started getting in videos, I had already established this whole page. I had watermarks made. I had a lot more behind the scenes going on with the Layla the Boxer name, that it's a lot more difficult than just switching the name on Facebook and Instagram. It's a whole mess of things behind the scenes that have that name already attached to it. So that's why it's still Layla the Boxer. I completely understand that question. I hate that it's kind of established that way already. But there's a lot of things that would kind of get messed up if I did change the name at this point. But we still love Luna just as much. Okay, and the last question is, how do I come up with my skits? I just have one of those minds that has one thought and then it becomes this trail of thoughts, and I end up like way in left field, and somehow this idea just pops into my head. Like I could be driving and think about, oh, that tree over there looks like a tree I used to climb when I was little. And then I would come in and my mom would have this chocolate cake that I love so much, and then I'd think, oh, I should go pick up one of those chocolate cakes. Wait, what time is it? Oh, it's actually close to dinner time. I don't want to miss feeding the dogs. Ooh, what if I made a skit about forgetting to feed the dogs? And it just kind of goes and goes and goes. So I end up with just random thoughts that turn into these ideas. Sometimes I'm also just listening to music, and that music just has a certain tone or vibe, and story behind it, and then I kind of just think about it relating to the dogs, and I'm able to come up with skits that way. A lot of the 80s love songs, like Getting Your Heart Broken and things like that, make perfect background choices for the skits about when they're jealous of me petting other dogs, or making a cake and they're just like drooling over it. It's like a love story type of thing. But that's usually how I come up with the skits. It's either when I'm listening to music or just letting my mind do its thing. But that's the top 10 questions that you guys have asked me. I've seen those questions actually over and over again, so I'm glad they were asked in the story so I could get them all answered for you. Feel free to post more questions in the comments section, and I just want to thank you guys for all of the support that you've been giving me for the past couple of years that I've been doing this. It's just grown into such an amazing community, and you guys always seem to just pour love into the comment sections of my videos, and it makes me smile, and I'm just so happy that I can help you guys smile as well. So I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving, and I hope you have an even better Christmas, and look out for the next shenanigans.